Hi, I'm Michelle Turner from Movement Lessons, and today I'm going to talk about side sitting and looking for the mechanisms of what's preventing your child, but also to know when your child's not in a capability or a capable position of doing side sitting to where they're able to move at that moment. The reason I say at that moment, movement changes. We change how we move all the time. I can roll around like a ball right now and go out my door, fall down and be injured and not being able to do those movements. Not to say I won't be able to do them again, but at that time can't. So I wanted to show you just some things with side sitting that kids do and to look for. So one of the things when sitting is just difficult in general is you'll see the toes want to curl something like this. What it is that when I go to move, I start losing my balance. So they've used, instead of balancing through the pelvis and have a bit better core. Now core, what I mean by core is a pelvic bowl where your head moves around it, not six-pack abs. You do not want kids with six-pack abs. If you do, again, that's where you're going to get a lot of these habitual contractions because the muscles work all the way down. So again, when a lot of people, physical therapists and or doctors say, you want the good core strength. No, if your abs are working more efficiently or stronger than the back muscles are, then the brain says, this is my spine, and it throws off your whole system. You want the back to kick in, you want your back to relate to the pelvis so I can do everything. For me to roll around like this, my feet are relaxed, my belly's relaxed. The bigger my belly is, the more I can move around. So one of the things, like I said, you'll see the kids start to do this kind of thing. Now, when the feet are like this or any kind of contractions going on, guess what? The ability for me to cross, quote, midline or to work over here is being inhibited because of this. And if you're not sure, go on the floor, go in a position that your child's doing and mimic it and see what it feels like to be in that position instead of saying, loosen the feet, loosen the feet. Well, guess what? If they could balance, then the feet would work out. But until that vestibular system's worked out, feet aren't going anywhere. And this is also where, too, a lot of professionals go to orthotics. You're still not teaching the system how to sit. Okay, now I'm in orthotics, great. Now what I'm going to do with them? I can't go this way, I can't go this way. You put your feet in a 90-degree angle with the weight that is. So in a sense, cast both feet, and you go around and learn how to walk, crawl, and play like a kid. It's just impossible. What you have to work on instead of the feet, it's the balance through the system. So again, when I'm like this, and now I'm okay, so I'll tighten my abs too. This is as far as I can go for my range. And now also look, when my abs tighten, I start to tilt back. All this work is going, oh my God, sit up, my legs. I mean, you know, this is why our kids are skinny and stuff. They're working out versus us just being marshmallows per se. So when the leg is like this, guess what? For me to, quote, go into a side sitting, it's really impossible, especially if I engage, again, the abs. The rotation there of the hips just not going to happen. So to expect the child now to go into a side sitting position with these kind of contractions going on, again, it's impossible for the child. So for you to sit there and go and try and bend the knees and try and do, and that's where you see so much of the work is just that it looks like I'm just tilting a child around, but what I'm working on are all these little things so balance can be worked out through the vestibular, so this is not as important anymore for the brain, and that's where you start to see, in a sense, the relaxation. But what it is that these muscles don't have to do the job anymore because the skeletal system's doing the work. So once you see the feet start to give, sway, or do all of this, that's where you can look at possible bringing in, again, it's not just the hip rotation. If I stabilized everything else, notice the pelvis. The pelvis has to want to come around and bring the body into a side sitting. So again, if I can do it as like almost like a perfect circle, but it's all through the pelvis going into this side sitting. The reason side sitting is so important is because now I can go off. Now I can go off I can go into crawl, I can get up from here. When I'm in this position, guess what either? I can't get up. There's no way, especially with tight abs, I cannot get up from here. I can't cross over, I can't get, and it's not only the children, look at aged adults. You know, that's why they don't go bathtubs anymore. That's why because what it is the rotation of the pelvis is not there anymore to get into those positions to get up. So again, these are the things to look for in a child. Don't always look to correct, quote, the problem. We are a whole function. So again, to take a foot and to throw it into orthotics, thinking that that's what's going to save the foot or to change the habitual contractions from happening, so therefore my child will be able to walk someday. I know sounds good on paper, but we're not looking at the whole function. So what you want to do is, again, is to change how the vestibular system is handling the balance, so the abs release, the feet release, and the back kicks in more. So now I'm available to do those kind of movements. So again, when you're seeing these kind of, especially the more bowed the child gets, to force that side sitting is really that, it's a force. And the child's not going to learn, it's not going to be comfortable, it's not going to be, you can try all sorts of little things to go around it, but you really have to look at that relationship as a whole, and not, again, just as the feet or the hip or the knee or whatever. So that's something to look at, why your child isn't going into side sitting, and what you can possibly need to do to get the proper therapy or movements involved to help your child to accomplish those goals, so they can eventually, you know, get up